like snap off.
Yeah.
Once they ran across the top,
We'll see.
down through.
We'll see what we can do.
Get those screws up. Probably.
If Councilman Munger will stop passing out candy.
Looks like it's snap off.
Yeah, snapped off. That looks almost like it was cut.
Yeah. All right, Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. This is a regular city council meeting. It's at 7:15 instead of 7 o'clock. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilman Cohen?
Here.
Councilman Phillips?
Here.
Councilman Fleetwood?
Here.
Councilman Munger?
Here.
Councilman Haycraft?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson? Mayor Lauderman?
Here. There being a quorum present, I'll call the meeting to order. I'd like to get Councilman Munger to do the invocation, please.
Father God, we just come before you and we thank you that we can gather here. We thank you that you are so good to us in this community. We ask your blessings on this meeting and all that takes place tonight. We ask your blessings on this community and guide us in wisdom. We thank you. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion that we excuse Councilman Dobson tonight.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need approval of the agenda for tonight, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need approval of payroll and claims, first half, April 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Under public comments, Randy?
Thank you again. I'm here. I was here a couple weeks ago. Didn't get the opportunity because of some illnesses with the attorney and stuff to get it in on the closed session 2 weeks ago. Understand there was still some confusion on being able to do it tonight. So I'm here to essentially ask the council, I need affirmation again on the grandfathering of the building that Mid-America Pick and Pack that I own at 400 South Maple, the old shoe factory, to remind you. So several years ago, as we were going through the Chapter 11, we had an affirmation from the city that the building, as long as I maintain 1% ownership, and that the nature of the business didn't change dramatically. It's currently a light manufacturing and warehouse. As long as that does not change, that a new partner or buyer would come in and they would allow that grandfathering of the building. The main concern is the sprinkler system. So there's two people at the table. One's been there since day one, working through their financing. The second person coming on board, they want to make sure that affirmation is there because they can't move forward without that. Besides the cost of the building, remove it from the bank, it's over $1 million for the roof, and it's over $1 million for the sprinkler system. That just would not make any deal happen. So what I need from the city council is affirmation that that's still in place. It was something that we had in front of the bankruptcy judge in federal court, from the fire department based on the city code, if I understand that right, Barry.
Mayor, one of the things that we did not have the last time Randy was here was his lawyer had sent me an email but hadn't sent me a letter. He has sent me a letter. He has backed up what Randy has said, that it's his position. And of course, Fred Cruz is his lawyer. He's apparently ill again today. He's having some major health problems. But Fred was a bankruptcy trustee, does a lot of bankruptcy work, et cetera, et cetera. Fred's position is that whatever document that the city provided, and I don't know because I didn't have anything to do with it, was a commitment to the bankruptcy court, and that we're obligated to live up to that. Here's what I will say is bankruptcy courts are usually pretty wide-ranging in what they think is something that's an obligation by the parties. It is certainly a concern I would have. Now, whether that would place the city in any liability, et cetera, I don't have a good opinion for you guys about that. My thought is that if in fact that's where the bankruptcy court felt we were, they could take some type of action with the city if they were so inclined. I'm not saying that they will, and I don't do a lot of bankruptcy law anymore. I haven't practiced bankruptcy law in 10 years. So,
If I may add to that, and again, it's not here just because of the potential legal problems for either side. It's a matter of being able to keep that building alive. I mean, certainly several of you are familiar with the building. I got the building from the city. The city had every chance to put a sprinkler system in it 30 years ago if they wanted to, and they knew how tough it was then. But again, it's being able to not have that building end up as another St. Elizabeth Hospital, because it'd be very difficult to come in, put $1 million in the roof, get it from the bank, and then try to make any changes.
my understanding from Mr. Cruz's letter is that what they're seeking is a commitment from the city is that at this point in time, based on this ownership structure, we won't require them to sprinkle the building. That's, I believe, what they're
Nothing as far
seeking.
as anything else getting, safety and everything else with it would go with any of the new businesses. Not asking for anything else.
And your insurance company is okay with that?
The insurance would be, yes.
They'd be okay with the sprinkler.
Again, I'm not going to speculate or anything to it. Again, new owners to move forward, if the business is successful, they would really need to get things up to code to be able to sell it in the future and do anything with it. So that's the long term of it. But, there's anything can happen between that now and then.
Randy,
Yes.
did the new owners have have they presented a business plan?
Yes.
And they're what?
They're seeking financing now.
Fully
But
committed?
They're not moving. One of them's not moving forward with it until they get that affirmation, because there's
Right. Should the affirmation happen,
Yeah.
we might be able to expect
Yes.
the new owners to go forward
Mhm.
with business and industry.
Yes.
Wonderful.
You can put it to a vote, because what they're seeking is an assurance that you're not going to require them to sprinkle the building at this time, based upon the prior assurances and their assurances that Randy's going to stay at least a 1% owner, and that the nature of the use is not going to change.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not a wide open, we're never going to make you sprinkle this building. It is, what they are seeking is, my understanding is they're seeking an affirmation that if Randy maintains at least a 1% ownership and they don't change the nature of the use, that we'll continue with our prior ruling that we're not going to require them to sprinkle the building at this time.
At this time, eventually. it
Well,
would be-
if
yes.
if they decide a year or two down the road after they get the building fixed up and things going
Right.
that they want to sell the building, then it would.
Right.
Well, again, it'd be in my interest. So, self-ownership. So several.
Just for clarification, that it was basically an operating business for many years without that requirement.
Pardon me?
Without the sprinkler system, it's been operating for many years without that requirement until the past few years.
Operating
Correct.
for 47.
40, yeah, exactly. Okay.
So this was grandfathered when you took the building over?
It was already grandfathered at the time, but being able to move forward and find a buyer through the bankruptcy court, it was a requirement. That's when.
Affirmation.
But there hadn't been any big code changes or since that time.
No.
One time. We're doing the same.
He's not changing the nature of the business that this went through. If it would have come up as something totally different,
Like a nursing home or apartment complex.
then it would have to
that
be,
wouldn't
it
work.
would have to
Offices.
be changed.
Right.
Putting offices in or anything, any changes like that?
Pardon me?
Offices or any change to that?
There's some small offices in there now.
Currently.
Yeah, currently.
Yeah.
So what I need is a motion to,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
No, there were no
Would I be
votes
able to get
against, so-
something, James, or something like that if the bank requires that, or just a note that says that?
Yes, I think we can probably get you minutes of the meeting that will show that what that was and what the terms of it are. So,
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Gaines.
Mr. Gaines.
We have a presentation for you for street requests for Folklife Festival, October.
Right, right.
I read over the notes from each of the departments. It looks like pretty straightforward. It's the 49th year. The timing of our renewal is about right at the beginning of October, so we wait to get the new one that covers it. Comment about the bollards versus was with the police department. That's something we have discussions with about. Otherwise, the request is the same as it has been for at least 32 years.
All right.
No major changes.
I'll make a motion pending insurance that we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. One of the better things in my office that I get to do is swear in new police officers. I think this is number 6 in the year and a half that I've been here. I'm always pleased to do that. I state your name. I swear that I will, best of my ability, also state I will constantly strive to obey officers. Obey all
Congrats, thank you.
Got you.
All right, fun stuff. Recommendation for appointments, Mark Twain Home Board, first reading. Steve Virel, appointment for a term to expire November 2032. Dr. David Jackson, term to expire November 2032. And Sherry Steinman, appointment for a term to expire November of 2032. This is just a first reading. Andy?
Well, actually, I can do it. So, before you, we have a approval of appointment for the Parks and Recreation Board for Chris Hartzell, appointment for a term to expire, and actually there was a typo in this, so it is July of 2026 to fulfill the remainder of the term.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Melissa?
All right, Mayor, Council, I got quite a bit for you this evening. I'll try to get through it as fast as I can. In accordance with provisions of Section 17.08 of the City and Charter of Hannibal, Missouri, we held a municipal election on April the 8th. During that election, in the second ward, our charter provides that a candidate must receive a majority of the votes, which would be half plus one. Neither candidate, no candidate received that. So, in accordance with the charter, I would like to ask for your approval to hold a runoff election. The runoff election will be held on April 22nd, 2025 in the second ward of the city of Hannibal in the county of Marion. The election will be oversaw by the county clerk who oversees all elections. That's it. Just need your approval.
Have
Ordinance
bill
to follow.
number 25-047 to follow. It's for emergency reading, so it'll count as both readings tonight.
The second thing that I have for you tonight is Avenue Enterprises Solution. They are our software, our operating software for the city of Hannibal. I know I kind of gave you the same song and dance last year, that this would be our last year of renewing this contract. However, I think you guys know that we have not been able to upload our new operating software yet. It is very close. I would like to say that the new IT department is really catapulting us forward very quickly. Thank goodness. I thank Eric so much. So we are going to have to renew our software with Avenue for another year. We'll need to keep our old software in addition to our new operating software for a bit of time to make sure that all of the data is secured and we can get to the older data if needed for audits and that kind of thing. So I am requesting their approval for the mayor to sign and execute agreement with Avenue Enterprises in the amount of $31,723.68. And the term will be effective July 1, 2025 through June 30th of 2026.
And that's resolution 2546-25 to follow.
Next item is also Avenue Enterprises. You'll see there. It is a user agreement for data extraction. Our current software system does not extract or transfer data to our new. They charge us for each and every time that they do it. So I have a resolution here with a sales order agreement with Avenue. The cost of extracting all of the data that they foresee us having to extract will be $8,000. With any additional requests that we have will be $1,500 each. So the clerk's office is requesting their approval for the mayor to sign and execute the sales order agreement with Avenue Enterprises for the amount of $8,000 for contracted extraction with any additional extract request costing $1,500 each.
Okay, and that's resolution 2545-25 to follow.
And the final item I have tonight is Civic Plus contract agreement. The city of Hannibal must provide archive social link for our social media. It is a law that goes with the Sunshine Law in order to retain information. We're required to archive all social media content for the Missouri Sunshine Law purposes. The contract covers social media archiving for the City of Hannibal, Hannibal Police Department, Hannibal Fire Department, Hannibal Tourism, and the Hannibal Board of Public Works. So to social media archiving, previously we were purchasing it through SHI. By switching to Civic Plus, we saved the city $1,090.18 yearly. We are requesting the approval for the mayor to sign and execute a one-year contract agreement with Civic Plus in the amount of $7,547.40, with a contract to be effective March 1st, 2025 through March 1st, 2026, and will be renewed on 3/30 of each calendar year thereafter.
Okay, resolution 2547-25 to follow for Chief.
Right. First, thank you, Mayor and Council. First of which is just a contract service renewal with Missouri Network Alliance, which is Bluebird Fiber. Essentially, our current agreement is up with Bluebird, and in order to avoid rate increases, we can sign a renewal now for 5 years and lock in that current price, which is beneficial all around. It's something that we use. We have a direct connection with 911 fiber service, and it's pretty close to a contract.
Okay.
There's a resolution to follow.
And that's Resolution 2548-25 to follow.
And then secondly, looking approval for purchase of 33 ballistic vest outer carriers from Leon's Uniform in St. Louis. They have the state contract, which is closed in the information. It's $7,537.86. Essentially, for the last couple of years, we've been talking about transitioning our uniforms to a different style. The current issues we face with the uniforms we have now is all of the weight and equipment is carried on your waist, on your belt, which creates back problems. Plus, you sit in a car, which puts those kind of digs in your back. I think they can attest probably more to the discomfort and long-term back pain that can cause. So with that, there's been a lot of advances since these uniforms were purchased. With that is a way to wear your ballistic panels actually with attachments on your actual outside of your vest, where you can distribute some of the items across your body in a uniform fashion. Take some of the weight off waist, and you can distribute that better. So we had this currently planned, and it's we have the funds in our current budget to do so. Just need to prove it's that state contract.
So is that the price for all 33, or is
Yes.
it each?
The total.
Okay. All right.
Chief, you must be getting used to my question about what it was planned for, and you had it in the budget.
All right.
Thank you.
If we don't have any other questions, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Chief.
Trish?
All right, good evening. It is that time of year where the Missouri Division of Tourism puts out their matching marketing grant opportunities to CVBs in the state. I am in the middle of working that up. This year we've been allowed to ask for up to $120,000 with our match of $120,000. So this will be budgeted in the next fiscal budget. This today in front of you is a resolution asking for permission for the mayor to sign along with me in this grant application requesting the amount of $120,000. And if awarded, any further subsequent signatures needing to execute that grant once it is approved. We will not find out if we get the full amount until the governor signs the budget in June, late June. So that's not until then. So any other questions?
What are the funds used for if you do get it?
So
Strictly media?
yeah, so the funds for this is restricted to certain mileage. We have to advertise the city of Hannibal, really Marion and Rawls County, 50 miles outside of Hannibal at the very least. So it pays for half of all of the advertising we do in print, TV, radio, social media, all those things. So this is just a portion of what I do. I have another portion that we pay ourselves to promote even further, but this gets us advertising in at least 5 to 10 states based on.
Wow. What is roughly, I don't feel like I quote exactly, but what is roughly the budget for advertising that you spend?
So just with this grant, it's looking at $240,000, which 120 of that is provided by the grant if it's approved in that full amount. And then year to year changes what I have left over to add for spending without having to use the Missouri Division of Tourism logo on everything. So 2026 is going to be a big year for us. We have FIFA in Kansas City. We have the 150th anniversary of the publication Tom Sawyer being published, and some other things. So trying to build that up, and you'll see that in our budget meetings coming up, trying to build a little bit more of a pot for advertising those separate events that have nothing to do with really promoting the state as a whole. So usually about another $100,000 goes in that pot. depending on what else needs tourism office has.
That's Resolution 2543-25 follow.
Thank you.
Just real quick, Trish, and that is coming out of the tourism money, it's not out of
Yes, so I know we have a
city
new,
fund, so-
new councilman here, so, the tourism money is separate from the general fund money. It is funded through bed tax money, and it is to be spent solely on, promoting the city of Hannibal, Rawls, and Marion County. This grant we get, based off the governor's budget, we get a certain dollar amount based on our level of a DMO that we are. So we're a level 4. So this year we got a $20,000 raise, supposedly, if we get all the money. So my match comes from bed tax money, not general fund money. So that would be the other $120,000. Good question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt?
Radioactive. Previously, I spoke to you about the need for a change order and an easement at 116 North Street to finish that stormwater project. I talked with you back on March 4th about early indication or early approval. At that time, we didn't have the easement signed by the property owner. Since received that easement signed by the property owner, so I'm here just to ask your authorization to have it signed.
The change order is the first thing. So,
Change order, $1,760. That's around the relocation of sewer service to the works tentatively scheduled this week. Whether it doesn't.
all right, need a motion to approve.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Your easement is resolution number 2544-25 to follow.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, man.
All right. Now we have bill number 25-046. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Bill number 25-046, an ordinance accepting the dedication of a private alley running parallel to A Street and perpendicular to Lion Street to public use. Second and final reading. Councilman Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauderman?
Yes. I declare bill number 25-046 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now we have bill number 25-047. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill an emergency reading.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Bill number 25-047, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal providing for a special runoff municipal election to be held on Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025, for the purpose of electing a second ward council member. Emergency reading. Councilman Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauderman?
Yes. I declare bill number 25-047 duly approved and adopted on this day.
I might add in here, just as a note for the public, this runoff is going to be in the second ward in the same polling places that you normally use, in addition to the same hours.
Correct.
So everything is just the same.
Thanks, Bob. All right, now we have resolution number 2543-25. I need a motion to have the clerk give this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 2543-25, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute the Missouri Division of Tourism Matching Marketing Grant application and subsequent acceptance documents in the amount up to $120,000. Councilman Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauderman?
Yes. I declare resolution number 2543-25 duly approved and adopted on this day. Then we have Resolution 2544-25. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 2544-25, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute an easement with the property owners at 116 North Street. Councilman Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauterman.
Yes. I declare resolution number 2544-25 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now we have resolution 2545-25. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution
So
and call
moved.
the roll for adoption.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 2545-25, a resolution authorizing a sales order agreement for the support services between the City of Hannibal and Avenue Enterprise Solutions LLC, a division of Avenue, in the amount of $8,000 for the service of data extraction to Cassell. Councilman Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauterman.
Yes. I declare resolution number 2545-25 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now we have resolution number 2546-25. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the
moved.
roll.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 2546-25, a resolution authorizing a one-year agreement for application hosting and technology support services between the City of Hannibal and Avenue Enterprises Solutions LLC, a division of Avenue, in the amount of $31,723.68 for the fiscal year 2026. Councilman Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauterman.
Yes. I declare resolution 2546-25 duly approved and adopted on this day. We have resolution 2547-25. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 2547-25, a resolution authorizing a one-year contract agreement for the support services between the City of Hannibal and Civic Plus in the amount of $7,547.40 for the service of social media archiving services. Councilman Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauterman.
Yes. I declare resolution number 2547-25 duly approved and adopted on this day. And we have resolution number 2548-25. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 2548-25, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement between the City of Hannibal and Missouri Network Alliance for a 5-year service contract for fiber and internet services. Councilman Cohen?
Yes.
Councilman Phillips?
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood?
Yes.
Councilman Munger?
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft?
Yes.
And Mayor Lauterman.
Yes. I declare resolution number 2548-25 duly approved and adopted on this day. I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.